Expelliarmus. Hey, my phone is broken again for the fourth time. I love my life. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here investigating your favorite movies, and today I'm going to finally do a movie review on Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2, which is, in case you haven't noticed, a succession of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. So I suggest you guys to check that video out, as well as all my other Harry Potter movie reviews. So I need to do this review real quick before my phone decides to finally die. Harry Potter is the chosen one. He is a fantastic wizard with the support of a lot of other good guys, and then we have the ultimate big bad guy, Voldemort, the evil wizard who's trying to kill everyone in the world who are not wizards and witches, but he saw a prophecy that a boy will somehow defeat him, and he's really sure that the boy is Harry Potter, and that is why Voldemort is trying to kill Harry Potter, and Harry Potter must kill Voldemort. But to defeat Voldemort, you need to actually destroy 7 Horcruxes, basically objects that contains pieces of Voldemort's soul. So you need to destroy all those pieces of his soul in order to destroy his body completely. Now, there are 7 Horcruxes, and 3 of them have already been destroyed in the past. We have Tom Riddle's diary destroyed on the Chamber of Secrets, the second movie and the second book, destroyed by Harry Potter with a basilisk fang. And then we have the Marvolo Gaunt's ring, which is basically Voldemort's mom's ring, which is destroyed by Dumbledore off screen. And Horcrux number 3 is destroyed in Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 1. And the Horcrux is basically Hufflepuff. Yeah, nope. It's the Slytherin locket. Salazar Slytherin's locket. And actually the trio, Harry, Ron, and Hermione, spent the entirety of Deathly Hallows Part 1 just looking for and destroying the locket, and destroyed with the Sword of Gryffindor, which is now strong enough to destroy Horcruxes because it has touched the venom of a basilisk. So, basilisk venom is the ultimate way to destroy a Horcrux. But they only destroy 3 Horcruxes. They still have 4 to go, and they will destroy all 4 of them in this movie. And my first big surprise about this movie, now that I've rewatched this movie once again, is that this movie is actually the shortest movie in the entire movie franchise, at only 2 hours and 10 minutes. So, given that there are a lot of plot in this movie, and most of it, like 3/4 of the scenes in this movie, are also epic, ultimate, climactic, dramatic explosions and screams and fights. I mean, this movie is really dense and fast-paced, and that's also what I really like about this movie. I mean, the previous 2 Harry Potter movies, the Half-Blood Prince and the Part 1 of Deathly Hallows, are rather slow-paced and nuanced, but this is all out apocalyptic. What I also love about this movie is that it also throwbacks to other movies as well. There are several callbacks, like the Golden Snitch, a couple characters going back to the Chamber of Secrets to destroy a certain Horcrux. We got the riding dragon scenes, which are fantastic as well, which throws back to the 4th movie, Goblet of Fire. And we also have a Gringotts heist. Gringotts being a bank ran by elves, and it's basically the biggest magical bank in the in magical UK, basically. And we also have the Marauders map, one of the most important items in the 3rd movie, The Prisoner of Azkaban, returning for a few seconds in this movie. Now, I don't want to spoil this movie for you guys, but essentially there are 4 more Horcruxes, but one of them is hidden, meaning that everybody thought, including the bad guys and the good guys, they all thought that there were only 3 more Horcruxes to go, but actually there's one extra Horcrux. So the other Horcruxes are the Cup of Hufflepuff, the Diadem of Ravenclaw, and Nagini, and another one which I will not spoil for you because I am not a douchebag. So the movie opens off in a really somber tone, to be honest, with Harry Potter, um, Ron, Hermione, Bill and Fleur, and Luna Lovegood, and also Ollivander, the Great Wand Maker, and also Griphook. I guess one of the head people, or one of the most important people in the Gringotts bank. Not one of the most important people, one of the most important elves. They all stayed at a small cottage beside the sea after they buried a character who unfortunately tragically died after last movie's climax. And it's a pretty sad and somber opening for the movie. But immediately afterwards, Harry, Ron, and Hermione decided to go to Gringotts, the bank, with the help of Griphook because they believed that one of the Horcruxes is in a vault in the bank, and the vault belongs to Bellatrix Lestrange, who is a bad guy who works for Voldemort, of course. Now, note that they're supposed to be at school. You know, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Luna, everyone, they're all supposed to be at school in Hogwarts, but they didn't because it's too dangerous. The second they go to school, they all get caught and they'll get killed and Voldemort wins. So they can't do that. So, but not all good guys are outside of school. Of course, some good guys stayed inside of school, but hiding, and trying to pretend, to play along, but actually they're good in the inside. Now that the great headmaster of the school, Dumbledore, spoiler alert, died, of course, the Death Eaters had taken control of the school, and now Hogwarts had pretty much collapsed. Anyways, the heist at Gringotts Bank. That is a fantastic scene. Not only do I really like the production of this scene, I mean, throwing back to the first couple of movies in the franchise, the visual effects, the CGI in this movie are so much better, so much clearer, so much more creative, and the production in general, the way the place is designed, is pretty fantastic. And the heist at Gringotts is a really fantastic scene because when they entered the vault of Bellatrix Lestrange, every piece of artifact they touch will multiply. So, of course, the whole vault became a gigantic mountain of, golden things and silvery things. But anyways, they found the Hufflepuff cup in the vault. And then Harry Potter and Ron and Hermione escaped with a dragon, which is a very epic scene. Afterwards, they went to Hogsmeade, which is a small magical town beside Hogwarts. And that is incredibly dangerous because in the entire area there are Death Eaters looking for Harry, Ron, and Hermione. If they catch them, they kill them, so it's incredibly dangerous. Luckily, a guy by the name of Aberforth Dumbledore rescued them and put them, hid them in his house, and apparently Aberforth is Albus Dumbledore's brother, so that's really cool. Afterwards, there is a secret passageway between Aberforth's house and a secret spot in Hogwarts. So, of course, Harry, Ron, and Hermione went through that secret spot and finally entered Hogwarts. Afterwards, I guess there is one small scene where somehow Harry Potter and the good professors managed to, just tell all the bad people at school, the bad professors, the Death Eaters, and the now headmaster Snape to just go away, piss off. And that's a pretty good scene. I just wish that there's more, epicness to it. But the real epicness of the movie hadn't even arrived yet. So that is the Snape confrontation scene. Afterwards, Voldemort and his army of Death Eaters had arrived, and everyone is prepared for battle. And the scene where all the people in Hogwarts just raise their wands to the sky and create a gigantic magical force field is a really powerful scene. And also, immediately afterwards, Ron and Hermione went to the Chamber of Secrets to destroy the Cup of Hufflepuff with a basilisk fang, which is also a somewhat memorable scene. And then we have one of the best scenes in the entire movie, and that is Harry Potter trying to find the fifth Horcrux, and that is the diadem of Ravenclaw. Actually, now that I've thought about it, I have one question: how did Luna get to Hogwarts so fast? I mean, I don't think she apparated. Maybe she apparated. I mean, she didn't follow Harry, Ron, and Hermione to the Gringotts Bank, but she was at the Shell Cottage with Ollivander and Griphook and Bill and Fleur. So I guess she apparated. Maybe somehow she got there somehow. I don't know. Anyways, the destruction of the Ravenclaw diadem required Harry Potter to look for a ghost of Rowena Ravenclaw's daughter, and then the daughter ghost will tell him where it is, which is in the room of requirement. So it's a bit of a throwback to movie 5 or 6, I think. So Harry Potter arrived there, but apparently Draco Malfoy, a bad guy secretly working for Voldemort, is also there. A person who's bad, but also cowardly, also actually didn't want any part of this, who's actually a confused boy being forced to do all this. So Malfoy and a couple of his boys went there and tried to stop Harry Potter from taking the diadem, which had caused a lot of chaos. And then Ron and Hermione, after destroying the cup, ran back up, and there's a bit of a small fight there, and one of Malfoy's boys, Crab, or was it Goyle? Decided to set the entire place on fire, which is a stupid idea. But that's what he did, and it just made the situation way more difficult and way more suspenseful. But I guess what I like about the scene is that Harry Potter saved Draco Malfoy from the fire. So that's pretty neat. Anyways, afterwards we enter the second half of the movie where the battle began. Voldemort and his Death Eater armies rush into Hogwarts, start fighting, and it was quite messy, quite chaotic. There's a scene where Neville Longbottom was given the opportunity to blow up a bridge in between Hogwarts and somewhere outside so that the Death Eaters will not be able to come in. But what he actually did is he lured the Death Eaters into the bridge so that they are in the bridge, and in the middle of the bridge, when Neville is running back to Hogwarts and the Death Eaters chasing after him, he blew up the bridge. So all the Death Eaters will blow up alongside with the bridge, which is a really cool scene. And the movie sort of dips down emotionally with with a very important Snape scene, which is actually amazing. It's beautiful. It's haunting. We have a long scene where the movie sort of tells us the backstory of Snape, and it was extremely powerful. It almost moved me to tears now that I've rewatched it, and Severus Snape is now easily one of my favorite characters of the entire franchise. And it's just really, really powerful. And he's also such a tragic character as well. It's like nobody actually ever understood him, but he's actually a really brave and kind person on the inside, but he's just in a very bad situation. Anyways, the afterwards, the battle sort of stopped for a while. Voldemort told his army to retreat for a little bit and told everyone to give me Harry Potter so that, you know, he can kill Harry Potter and everyone else in Hogwarts would be unharmed. And after Harry Potter saw Snape's memories, he finally knew what is the last Horcrux. I mean, at this point, there are 2 more Horcruxes yet to be destroyed, okay? And he finally knew what the hidden Horcrux was. And so he knew what to do. Now, I'm not gonna spoil everything in front of your face, but what he did was, I guess, the very thing that you did not want to see right from the beginning of the franchise. The very thing that you don't want to see. And it happened. And it defied expectations. But I guess what made the scene so great is that, usually when a scene like this happen, us, the viewers, would immediately think, okay, so maybe this scene is gonna unhappen. Maybe somehow the plot is gonna cheat its way out of the scene. No, it doesn't feel like it's gonna do that when you're watching the Snape's memories. It feels like it's legit. It's legit. But of course, afterwards, the plot somehow turned around and undid that scene, but in a very clever way. Not in a very cheap way, but in a very clever way. Another very fantastic detail. And afterwards, the battle resumes, of course. The second part of the battle, where the Weasley mother said, "Not my daughter, you bitch!" And that was totally badass. Love that scene. Love that line. We have Neville's speech, which is incredibly powerful. And Neville is also one of the most underrated characters of the whole franchise. I mean, he went from this fat, stupid, well, I'm not trying to, fat shame anyone, but he went from a not good looking, dumb, clumsy person to someone this brave and this strong. I mean, shout out to Neville. Neville's speech, fantastic, powerful. And the final fight, great. It's fantastic. Excellent. The final duel between Harry Potter and Voldemort, very memorable. And given that, at that point, only one Horcrux is left. Once that Horcrux is destroyed, Voldemort is weak. And guess who destroyed the last Horcrux? I'm not gonna spoil anything, but hell yeah. Also, apparently, now that I've rewatched it, I remembered that Neville Longbottom actually has a crush on Luna Lovegood, which is really cool. And I thought, what would be a better match than Luna and Neville? I think it's a really great match. And the ending scene, after the battle aftermath, is very admirable as well. Usually after an epic, gigantic battle in a movie, everybody would celebrate. Yay! It's all sunshine all over again. And indeed, it feels very warm and sunshine all over again in the last scenes. But we don't really see people celebrating or anything. We only see people sort of relaxing, calming down, trying to, patch up their wounds and talk to each other, give each other hugs. It's very calm and peaceful. It's very serene. And after that scene, and that scene is very short. And afterwards, we have a scene where it's just Harry, Ron, and Hermione alone, just in a very empty place where Harry Potter had the Elder Wand, the most powerful wand of all times, and he just snapped it in half and threw it away because power corrupts you. And there's just a serenity and a realness to it that I really, really like. And at the very, very, very end of the movie, we have a bit of a flash forward 19 years later. Now Harry's a dad, Ginny's a mom, and they bring their kids to school all over again, and they see Ron and Hermione being a couple, bringing their kids to school as well. Very wholesome. However, I only see Harry, Ginny, Ron, and Hermione in the last scene of the movie. I wish that there are more cameos in the movie. Also, what I took away from this movie that I don't find is necessarily great or terrible is that this movie values friendship way more than love, I guess, because ultimately Harry Potter and Ron and Hermione, they are the big stars of the movie. And immediately after the battle, Harry Potter then run towards Ginny and give her a big kiss. Harry Potter just looked at her and smiled and moved on and went on to talk to, I guess, Ron and Hermione. But I guess, again, the last scenes in the movie are very serene, very peaceful. I mean, Hagrid, after the battle, when Hagrid and Harry met again, Hagrid's like, hi, and just moved on. So, yeah, I love this movie. I think, despite a couple of very, very minor flaws, I think a majority of this movie is fantastic. It is incredibly fast paced. A lot of the scenes are well directed, well acted, well executed, and I enjoy most part of this movie. I'm saying that this movie is mind blowing, and I'm giving it a strong 9 out of 10. And there's a great debate between if this movie is better or Prisoner of Azkaban better. I personally prefer Prisoner of Azkaban slightly better because it is more of an artistic cinematic art piece, but this one just has the drama. It has the climax that we all craved for so many years, and I think that's a very wholesome movie. So yeah, have you seen Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more, and thanks for watching.